Shahar Kovetz, Arjuna, and Michael Anthony. We'd like to give them both a very warm welcome. They're sitting here in the front. They will be both leading a 4-day course on Yi Quan Qigong starting tomorrow. And today they will be giving a short presentation teaching about the subject. And we'd like to introduce them, Master Shahar Kovetz Arjuna, with over 2 decades of dedication to Tai Chi and Qigong. Shahar has immersed himself in these ancient teachings from a very young age under the guidance of Grand Master Yaron Binyamini and many masters, tracing back to the legendary teachings of Shen Fa Ke. And as a former special unit soldier, he was witnessed the many external and internal battles that shape humanity. This experience has fueled his commitment to guiding others towards harnessing their inner power, not through force, but through flow. His approach reflects the essence of the spiritual warrior, cultivating strength from within, aligning with the natural rhythms of life, and transforming struggle into harmony. Through his teachings, Master Shahar has opened the door to the timeless wisdom of Tai Chi and Qigong, offering tools to ground the mind, cultivating inner peace, and move through life with clarity, strength, and effortless flow. So we're very grateful and happy to welcome Shahar Kovetz Arjuna here to the ashram, as he really grew up very connected to the Shivananda organization, to all the ashrams and centers, and of course as a TTC graduate. And we won't mention that his mother is sitting here in the audience somewhere. So we like to give a very big hand to Arjuna, Shahar Kovetz. And teaching together with Arjuna is Michael Anthony, who is first time here to the ashram. And we'd like to introduce Michael Anthony, who is a licensed clinical social worker in Florida. And Michael Anthony has dedicated his career to creating safe, supportive spaces where individuals and couples can work towards healing and growth. With over 7 years of experience in Tai Chi, Qigong, and martial arts, Michael incorporates the calming principles and physical movements of these practices into his therapeutic work. His passion extends to reducing the stigma surrounding mental health, particularly for men, and he is deeply committed to helping individuals reconnect with their inner strength and peace. So very happy to have Michael Anthony here with us at the ashram. Let's give him another very big hand. And tomorrow they will be starting this 4-day course on this Yi Quan Qigong, and tonight they will give us an introductory presentation. So let's give a very big hand to Shahar Kovetz and Michael Anthony.
How does it sound? Sounds good?
Sound good?
Good, thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much, Swamiji, for the great introduction. And like Swamiji mentioned, this place is really my family. It's my home. So I feel I feel great honor and humility also. I'm a little nervous too. So I'm happy to share that with you. And happy to share this wonderful place. I saw a lot of spiritual places throughout my short life. And the Shivananda organization is one of the few places that I can genuinely, with a full heart, say this place is good. This place does good, this place is good. And I feel very humbled, like I said, and inspired to share this place with you. And of course, for Michael, for being here your first time. Do you like it so far?
Oh, I'm loving it so far.
Yeah.
Beautiful place.
Good, I'm happy. So the first question I'm sure comes up naturally is, what is Qigong exactly? Qigong, in the most simple form, is a moving meditation. Now, why moving meditation? Why you have to move in order to do meditation? As you probably noticed, when you were sitting down to do the beginning meditation or the silent meditation, nothing is really still, is it? We're living in a physical and energetic realm, right here, right now. And the natural law of a physical and energetic realm is things are constantly changing and shifting all the time. So even when you sit still, you're never really still. Your heart beats, your lung moves, you breathe, temperature changes, a breeze comes in, your cells move, atoms move. There's a constant change in energy in motion. So those who created Qigong understood that in order to understand how we can connect and move in harmony in the world, we need to understand motion as well, or energy, or at least the energetic space. And that's where comes Qigong as a very powerful tool. Because think of the world, or life, at least the energetic and physical aspect of it, as a continuous torrent of energy, moving from one place to the next. And we are all in this big river of energy, moving from point A to point B. And we're all going to be ending up at the end of that river. We all know where we're going at the end. We're all going there together. Now, while you're riding this river, you have a choice. Are you going to thrash and fight as you fight against the river, against the energetic space you are living in? Or are you going to cruise and enjoy the ride? And this is really where Qigong comes in, through the movement of meditation and breathing. Now, I can talk about Qigong for a very long time, like a really long time. But I think the best thing, like almost everything that is connected to energetic practice, is feel it. So I want to invite everyone today, I want to bring a specific Qigong practice that comes from the Yi Quan Qigong. This is a medical Qigong. Similar to yoga asanas, it creates stretches in the body and pressure points in order to create that pressure and to, as soon as the release happens, allow energy, prana, or chi to flow through the body and open these energetic channels. So we're going to do it together, and I encourage you to stand up if you want. I'm sure a lot of you will appreciate after sitting down. And you can also practice this seated as well. So here you can join me. This is called plucking the stars. And before we start any practice of Qigong, we always have an opening motion, we have a closing motion. But first thing first, we put the hands together on what's called the lower dantian, underneath the belly button. You close your eyes. You bring the crown of the head to reach up to the heavens, lifting up the spine. The base of the spine connecting to the ground, to the earth. This is called bringing the three treasures together. And what a beautiful way to describe the three treasures: the mind, the body, the breath, the Shen, the Qi, and the Jing. These three treasures, our body, our mind, our breath, are what's guiding us towards higher levels of growth and spirituality. So in this one moment, when you take a deep inhale, and you take a deep exhale, in this moment you are here. So we're going to start with an opening motion. We release the hands to the ground. Then expand the hands out. This is called Pang or Yubeshi. As you open, I want you to feel the chest expand. Feel like there's a light from your heart opening outwards. And then relax the tension through the center and let everything melt and connect to the ground. And we'll do plucking the star. Left hand comes to the back, to the kidneys. And the right hand goes to the front, in front of you. Your center, your intention, your Yi, is going to focus on the Lao Gong, the center point. And you're going to guide this hand through the ground, looking at it. And as you reach up, I want you to expand the chest like you're lifting up to the sky. Take a deep inhale. Feel the spine climbing up. Press the heels to the ground. Base of the spine pulling to the earth. Feel that tension. It's a controlled tension, not strain. Then release that tension. Bring the hands to the heart, guiding that energy through the center. And then you reach that same hand to the sky, twisting the hand like you're reaching up to an apple to grab it from a tree. And you reach a little higher because it's just about off the reach. Feel the tension throughout the whole body. Then let go of the tension and release. Switch the hands, same thing. The mind centers on the Lao Gong, guiding the left hand up to the sky. Open the chest as you take a deep inhale. Spread the fingers, reach the spine. Deep inhale. Exhale, release the tension. Let it naturally float down to the heart. From the heart, twist and reach up to the sky. Again, reaching that same apple to the sky. Reaching a little higher. It's almost out of reach. Let it go. Let's do it again to the first side. Now let's add the breathing. Inhale, reach up, feel the energy, the mind, the body, all connecting to the sky. Exhale, release the tension. Twist, inhale, up to the sky, reaching it up. Let go. Again, same side. Inhale, reaching up. You can also add the back hand to reach down. Exhale, let go, bring it to the center. Then again, twist up, lifting to the ground. And letting go. Now let's add the elements, because we talked elements. Right hand. As you inhale, I want you to visualize the element of fire. Fire is connected to the heart, it connects it to will. As you open the chest, feel the heart expand like there's this big light, like we talked before. Then as you relax the breath, feel that relaxation. Think of the element of water flowing through the body like you're guiding or riding down a river. Then guide that river up. From here, we're going to connect to the element of air, reaching to the sky. Element of air is the one that's connected to creativity, to freedom. Reaching up, feeling lighthearted, the way my teacher likes to call it, let your body smile. Then let it go, the element of earth, reaching the hand all the way down to the ground. Earth gives us stability. Switch the hands, same thing. Focus on the element of fire like your heart expands. It's about will, ambition, and passion. Let go, water, about empathy, letting go. Then reach up with the element of air, lightheartedness, freedom, and creativity, reaching to the sky. Now let it go. Element of earth, connecting to the ground. We'll do one more round to each side together. Inhale, element of fire, expand, and visualize with the mind too. We create images in the mind. Exhale, release through the heart. Twist and reach up. Let go. Last round. Left hand. Inhale from the ground. Pang. Energy of fire. Leo. Energy of water guiding through the heart. From the heart, let it naturally float up. Element of air. Ji. Exhale. Element of earth. Then bring the hands to the ground. Collect the hands from the ground through your heart like you're funneling a big ball of light through the chest. Now visualize that light guiding through your heart, funneling in. And from the heart, using the mind, visualize it coming down through the heart, down through the lower dantian to the stomach. And imagine there's this big ocean of energy laying right there underneath your belly button. And that light is now just cleansing and healing that part. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, release the hands and release them down. Keep the eyes closed for a moment. Feel the nature, the elements of nature, not just within you, but also around you. The element of earth is below your feet. That constant energy of gravity pulling you down, giving us balance and stability. Notice the element of fire in your heart, that internal heat that comes from electricity and that internal warmth. Also in the light, even now at night, you can still feel the energy of the sun through the moon. Notice the element of air in each breath you make, in the breeze around you. This beautiful location. Notice the element of water with every shift, every movement within your body. Every twist, every twitch flowing through your veins. Om. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, release, bring the legs together. Palms together above the head. Sealing through there in mind, the central point. Down to the heart. Down to the belly. And release. You can give yourself a little shake. And feel free to feel down. Sit down. First of all, I'm happy everybody stood up. I thought maybe half would stand up. Well, I like it. You're go-getters. So feel free to sit down. So this was an example of Qigong. As you see, we moved with intention, we moved with breath, we moved with the body, and we bring all that energy and playing with it a little bit as we move from side to side, cultivating the elements of nature, which is, again, around us and within us. We are nature. We are of nature. Now, when we talk about Qigong specifically, we also, in the course, we're going to use Qigong mainly, but also we're going to use Tai Chi. For those who know Tai Chi, the difference between Tai Chi and Qigong, Qigong is more stationary like we did today. Tai Chi is like a synchronized movement, like a form, teaching us how to move from one energetic state to the next. Like we move from being meditative to being in satsang, to coming home and transitioning from space to space. Tai Chi shows us how to make these transitions from one energy to the next in a harmonious, using the principles of the yin and the yang. And those who don't know, the yin and yang is that black and white symbol, and that balance between active and reactive energies. And the last thing we're going to work is that's the Yi Quan, as Swamiji mentioned. Yi Quan is to show you, because again, as much as we would love to be here all the time in this lovely energetic space connected to the gurus and the master and the people who cultivate the space so beautifully, sadly we have to leave. Me and Michael will go to Tampa and there's 275, people cut you off all the time, and suddenly all spiritual teachings go out the window. You get angry. But Yi Quan, or pushing hands, Tui Sho, teaches us how to actually interact with different egos than ourselves and learn how to take negative energies, transmute it into positive energies. So, and I would love to go deeper into it, but again, we have a short session. You have to come and join the course. That's my hook. And of course, I want to hear more, and I want you to hear more from Michael. So, Michael has been working together for a while, and Michael here uses the elements and nature, the things we work together to heal people through therapy and with his patients through a holistic practice. So something we've been working together on. And again, you probably heard a lot from me, and I would love for you to hear more from Michael. So Michael, please.
Yeah, thank you so much. So when I first met Shahar, I was dealing with a lot of things myself. I had a lot of low self-esteem. I was overweight. I was drinking a lot. Just felt like I was in a rut. But one day I saw on Meetup a class that was taught by Shahar, a donation-based Tai Chi class, and decided to check it out. And to be quite honest, I got addicted with it. But what I really appreciated about the way that Shahar teaches is he teaches how to manifest the different elements within your body and how to move and recognize where they are. So over continued practice, I started to notice those feelings of low self-esteem start to disappear, but recognize where feelings of confidence started to come up within me. One of the other things I really appreciate is how we learn to use these elements and use these energies to adapt to the world happening around us, but also within us. So continuing to access that confidence when I needed it most started to make me feel more empowered. I felt empowered to cut away from my 9-to-5 job and begin a path of private practice therapy, which can be a very scary path when you're going independent for sure. And I did become a Qigong teacher too. But through that, I also recognized that a lot of these teachings that Shahar mentions and a lot of the things we'll be covering in our course really correspond very well with therapeutic modalities that were existing and that I like to use as well. So I really like to do my best to blend these things together, which I'll go into a little bit further.
Is it on? Okay. Yes, thank you, Michael. And one of the things that I learned and I noticed working with Michael, and honestly with all my students, obviously with the guidance of my teachers, I noticed that their personality, and not just their personality, their traumas, everything they go through life, is very difficult to hide. through movement in Tai Chi. So for example, we interact with a lot of people throughout our lives, and we wear some sort of a persona, from the Greek word, persona being the Greek word for mask. So our personality is in a way a mask. So sometimes we hide who we are through the way we speak and the way we talk to each other. But you cannot hide your body language. It's very difficult. You have to have a lot of training, to manage to pull that off. And even then, it has a time limit. Because your body doesn't lie. Your body carries energetic traumas and feelings and personality. And others that's through martial arts, through Qigong. And like I said, with many, many students I had, I learned, just like Michael said, as we transition and balanced different aspects of their personality as we practice. For example, if Michael had a lot of very strong water element in him, meaning more passive, more apologetic, allowing more things, and water, when it's imbalance in us, becomes stagnant. Water that does not move becomes sick like a puddle, and becomes like passive aggression. That's water when it's not moving. So it needs structure, it needs ability to move. So practicing the element of earth or practicing fire to let the water move, transform from a water state. And I learned, as we do that, we learn that people really transform, not just their mind, the whole body, the whole being change. And that's a long-term change because it comes from deep and deep within.
Yeah, so I think the best way to start to understand this is really understanding how the brain works. So our brain works as one unit, but it's made up of three distinct parts: our thoughts, our feelings, and our behaviors. And all of these influence each other constantly and affect us as a whole each and every day. But unfortunately, as humans, we have a tendency to focus more on negative feedback rather than positive feedback. So, for example, when I first started my practice with Shahar, I noticed my mind was starting to go to where I needed to improve rather than where I was improving. And this started to cause a negative feedback loop. Right? So I started, my negative thoughts started to make me start to feel disappointed, maybe start to not take my practices seriously. But through continued practice and building that awareness of how my feedback was working, I slowly started to change my thoughts to look at what could be the positives, where I was improving rather than where I wasn't improving. Through that, I started to reconstruct myself into positive feedback loops. So my positive thoughts then started to lead to feelings such as satisfaction, motivation, and my behavior manifested in myself wanting to continue my practice. So again, just getting an idea of how we work and how our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors affect us is a really great start to understanding a little bit more in depth how this energy works.
Yes, beautifully put. And this wonderful image that Michael here shared with us, the thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. In other words, these are the ways our body interacts with itself. So our body communicates with itself and through different languages, different modalities, different speeds too. And just like the mind and the body, it's all the same unit. The mind is the body is the mind. And we're not soul. And mind, I mean actual physical brain. They're all the same creature. But just like we are all humans living in the same planet, some of us speak Chinese, some of us speak English, some of us speak Spanish. So that we speak not only different language, our whole body language is different. So thoughts are analytical. They communicate very, very fast. Electricity shooting neurons through your head. Thoughts are fast. Thoughts are very quick. You think about one thing, you think about another all the time. Feelings, however, are different. Feelings are happening in the body. They are processed through the mind. They might be regulated through the brain and the mind, but they are manifesting in our body. And they are very slow. They communicate very differently through chemicals, changing cortisol, dopamine, and they take time. So, for example, you can think of something that makes you angry, and you feel that in your body, and then you start thinking about something else, but your body still carries that anger. And that anger can also carry over years and years and years. That's long-term generational trauma, for example. So something that happened to you when you were 9 years old, when you're 30, 40, 50, you can still carry it and express it towards someone else, even though the thoughts have changed billions of times until that point. So they communicate in two different speeds as well. Like I said, slow and fast. And they communicate also in two different languages. So a thought is communicating in the way of analytics, logical, language, dissecting, neocortex, literally the front perception of ours is the neocortex. So the feelings, however, they speak completely different language. And to show you the difference, if you ever been very frustrated or angry, and someone told you, hey, just relax, does that help? Not really. Michael, does that help your patients? When they come angry, you say, hey, relax.
Wouldn't even try it.
Wouldn't even try it. So I guess see here, some of you laughing because you understand the absurdity, because the body doesn't understand that. When you're angry and someone tells you relax, it doesn't compute. One is speaking English, one is speaking Spanish. But what language does your body understand? Can you guess? Breathing. Thank you, Mom. She heard this lecture before. But that, yes, the body understands breathing. I can tell myself till now, till forever, that I need to relax. But the one thing that can actually change a feeling that is happening in the body, it's not going to happen here, it's going to happen here. And in order to make transformation here, that creates a shift.
And to take that just a little bit deeper, I really wanted to illustrate how nuanced our emotions and our feelings actually can be. So what we're seeing here is what we call the feelings wheel. And again, illustrates how in-depth we can actually experience some of these emotions. So if I were to ask you how you were feeling today, I would willing to bet I would probably get some answers like happy, sad, maybe angry about something, maybe something that's represented in the center of that wheel. And even though those emotions are valid, what we can do is use this diagram to drill it down a little bit further. So let's start with the happiness, right? But let's try to drill it down maybe to that second layer. Well, now we're seeing more defined ideas of what happiness can be: optimistic, powerful, peaceful. So let's say you select, well, I guess I'm feeling more peaceful than I am happy. Right? We can actually take that a step further and see that that breaks down into feeling either thankful or loving. So even just using this as practice, we've now drilled down just that feeling of happiness all the way down to feeling thankful. As thankful as I am to be here today with you, honestly. So I use this probably with a vast majority of my clients, say a good like 99% of them, honestly, because I can see through the people I work with very profound transformations that come with truly understanding the manifestations of your feelings and how that in turn affects those thoughts and behaviors because of that.
Thank you, Michael. And so let's talk really about emotions here. And what are emotions? So if you remember what I mentioned before, emotions are, in essence, energy. Something happens in the mind, it processes it, that's the thought, and it processes it as a certain thing, an emotion. So for example, if I said I am angry, that's not a very accurate statement, is it? I cannot be angry. I'm Shahar. I'm Shahar. I can't be anything else but Shahar. I can't be angry. I'm not angry, but I'm experiencing anger. And that energy manifests through the body in different ways. So, for example, I like to think of the body when I teach this as an alchemy set. And the body, in a sense, quite literally is an alchemy set. Has different pieces and energies moving through it, different chemicals, food that comes through the body, processed through energy. It really is quite an alchemy set. And I think of it like the old cartoons with the alembics and all the weird tubes that are coming through the body. So, for example, if we're already talking about angry, think of anger. Anger tends to come from the energy of desire, of want. And want is connected to the ego. So when you want something really bad and you don't get it, you get angry. And that tends to manifest in the heart. For some people, it's going to be different, but it tends to happen right here. And when you really want something, you lose your footing. But back to the alchemy set. If I'm holding on to this anger, and I don't let that energy move, just like you put a chemical component into an alembic and you keep heating it up with fire, what will happen? At some point, it's going to burst. And you burst at someone or someone you're close to. And let's say you don't want to, You don't want to hurt anyone. And I see that with a lot of people who used to have a lot of anger issues. What do? They do the opposite. They repress. And what happens when you have this alembic filled with fire and you keep fueling it, and you hold it from expressing itself, what's going to happen? Boom. But it's going to be internally, and that is internal rage, or in other words, depression. So through the understanding of the emotions and recognizing these emotions, which is why I really like this wheel that Michael likes to use, when you recognize an emotion, you know what you need to balance it. So if something is very fiery, you know you need some water. If something's too watery, you know you need to stabilize. And again, we'll get deeper into that through the course. So Michael, please take us a little deeper into this.
Yeah, so this is usually where I like to just reinforce, especially the aspect of the importance of men seeking mental health. Because as it stands, only 1/3 of the population that seek mental health therapy right now are males. And a lot of that comes from how we were taught to suppress a lot of emotions at an early age. Being taught things like walk it off, be a man, don't cry. It just further stigmatizes seeking mental health. But I would say by using these tools and seeing the male clients that I do, I've seen profound transformation if we just take a moment to break down our walls and take the path of understanding how we truly operate. But how does this all tie into what we're going to be doing in our course? So Peter Levine is a leading psychologist that wrote an amazing book called Waking the Tiger. And in that book, he introduces to us what's called somatic experiencing. The example that he uses in the book, as well as shown in this photo here, is let's say you imagine impala out in the wild, minding its own business, eating some grass, when all of a sudden, a cheetah jumps out from the brush. Well, the impala goes into one of 3 states: fight, flight, or freeze. And in the example in the book, as well as in this photo, the impala activates its flight response and tries to run away from the cheetah. But I mean, a cheetah's really fast, right? So let's assume that it catches the impala. Well, then it goes into its freeze state, where its body will literally shut down as it faces its inevitability. But let's say, for example, the cheetah loses its grip, leaves it unattended, just doesn't pay attention for a little bit. That impala's system will reactivate and allow it to run to safety. So let's say it does get to safety, and this is the most important part. Once it reaches that safe area, the impala has an instinct to be able to literally shake off all of the residual energy that was pent up from that traumatic experience. Just think about it if you were the impala and you were facing a cheetah. I mean, you're facing your death. That is an immense amount of stress that goes throughout the body, unregulated. But what about us? We're humans. We weren't born with that innate instinct to just shake off all of that trauma. And so it builds up within our system, causes stagnation, energetic blockages. And when we leave those unattended, that leads to devastating health effects: heart disease, neurodegradation, sleep disorders, autoimmune diseases, all manifestations of what happens when we leave these things unaddressed. So what can we do about it? Somatic therapy teaches us to first turn our intention inward and really feel where some of this stagnation may be occurring. I hear a lot of clients say that they feel anxiety in the chest, maybe that tightness. Right? You might find that you store anxiety in your left hip, right? Through my somatic experiencing, I found that even though I'm a usually relaxed guy, I store a lot of anger in my shoulder blade for some reason, right? For anybody, it could be different. But that first step is really turning that intention inward to understand how your body is communicating and where you can feel those energetic blockages.
Yes, and I want to continue on that topic of holding energy. So if you remember, we talked in the beginning about energy being something that is naturally changing and moving. So how can you, what does that even mean to hold anger or hold an emotion? Do you actually hold an emotion? Do you actually have a little guy going in your shoulder? Does it mean to hold an emotion? Can you actually hold onto energy? Remember, energy is something that is constantly changing and moving. Can we hold it really and keep it still forever? So for example, a dam that is designed to hold water, can it hold the water forever? What will naturally happen at some point? The dam will collapse one day. The water will vaporize into the air, will turn into water. You can't really hold energy. Energy naturally will express itself one way or another. Either it will express itself within you through a mutually assured distraction, or you're going to generate and move that energy through you in a harmonious way. So when we're talking about holding energies, what we're talking about is about muscle memory. So it's not that I have this experience of energy and then it stays here for forever and just never releases. That's not what a blockage is. A blockage is a memory of the body that every time I feel anger, that's where I'm going to experience it. And the body remembers it because the body carries these things. The body carries memories. And that's kind of the key. That's an interesting aspect of Qigong. That's the key to understanding and recognizing energies, to be aware of energies, to be aware of emotions. Because like Michael said, he knows when he's angry, it's right here. So if he wanted to reverse course, because it's a mutually connected force, if I wanted to relax the anger, I need to relax the shoulder. Because they're connected. So that's how you recognize and be aware of different energies or different emotions, in other words. And is awareness enough, Michael?
No, awareness isn't enough. And that's the key. Awareness is only the first piece, right? But we have the power to be able to recognize and release that energy by doing things like movement, breathing into those areas of discomfort. We actively have the power to be able to bring ourselves back into a state of energetic flow. And just to add just a little bit more evidence to the efficacy, another form of therapy that I do is called EMDR. And what we do in EMDR is we use rapid eye movements to simulate a waking REM cycle and bring specific distressing events from our past to the forefront of our mind. We're able to reprogram negative beliefs that we have about ourselves into more positive ones. But the really cool thing that I've experienced by doing EMDR with my clients is that it's not uncommon for me to see clients have full physical reactions to reprocessing and reprogramming some of those distressful events. I've seen legs shaking. I've seen people talk about getting those feelings of tightness in the chest, pits in the stomach. I've seen people do full body convulsions. It's really amazing to see what our bodies can do when we take the moment to actually recognize and put to the forefront of releasing and reprocessing some of the things that we're holding on to. So throughout our course, we really want to teach you awareness, energetic work, and movement so that we can all understand how our thoughts, feelings, behaviors influence one another and bring us all back to a state of balance and harmony.
Right, and I like that word harmony, and every time I hear that, one of my first questions that come up is harmony in relationship to what? Like, what do we mean by harmony? What is a harmonious state of living as a human being? And that's why I like this picture specifically, because this is an example of someone living in harmony with a wave. Very simple concept to understand. So if this person wants to move with the wave naturally and harmoniously, it can't fight the wave. What will happen to the surfer if he decides, if the wave wants to go to the right, and the surfer says, no, I don't like it that you go to the right. Go left, please. Will the ocean listen? You can try it here. I don't recommend. It doesn't work. Or let's say the surfer decides to fight against the ocean, against that wave. Is that going to be a harmonious living? What's going to happen? It's going to be colliding. It's going to be friction. So the surfer understands, and the good surfer understands that when that wave representing your own potential when you are born, when you are living into this life, you are a wave of energy in your life experience. You have your karma, you have your dharma, you have certain forces that work upon you from the moment you are born to the next life, to the next life, and the next life. That wave is life. And as a surfer, a good energetic practitioner knows when life takes you in one way, with the waves pushing you to the right, you know to lean, to adjust. When the wave comes from the left, you know to lean into the right. You know how to balance yourself on that wave. And it's a practice of subtleties. And that's what it means to live harmonious, is two things. One, to live without the friction, and two, to transition from one energetic state to the next in in a smooth way without carrying things with you. So it's a real release. So another good example to think of a wire directing energy or electricity from one spot to the next. We have many wires here moving it. Now, if one of these wires was corroded or corrosive, had little cuts in it, will electricity flow very, very well through it? No, we'll have friction. And what is that friction over time, that building heat in a bad wire, an electrical wire? It's a short circuit, it's a burning, it's a big fuse, not fuse, it's burning. You know what I'm talking about. But if the wire is very well made and connected from one energetic source to the other, when electricity flows through it, not only will flow very naturally and without friction, it will also build up energy as it goes. So to explain this as something a little close to you, something that you can resonate a little more, think about when you wake up in the morning and it's 6 a.m. and you decide to go to work. But you're very groggy. So your mind is at work, but your body is still in the bed, snuggled in bed. Is that a smooth transition? You go to work and you're still groggy, you're still tired? No, you're not letting go of one piece of energy before moving to the next. And that's going to drain energy from you. And that's going to come with a lot of friction as well. The other way too, if you come back from work to your home, but your body is still agitated because you were sitting like this for a very long time, sitting, typing and engaging, your mind came home, you want to relax, you don't want to think about anything, but your body is still at work. Are you draining energy or are you gaining energy from that experience? It's going to be drained. What most people do, they numb themselves. They watch TV, they watch Netflix or any other means of numbing. That's going to drain energy from you. So a non-harmonious life versus a harmonious living as an energetic aspirant or practitioner is those two things. Are you moving from one energetic state to the next and gaining energy versus losing energy? And are you moving with friction or without friction? So for example, if I interact with another human being and they drain energy from me, then I'm not living in a harmonious state with them or the universe around. So the more you develop these skills, they start expanding more and more. So at first it's being harmonious with yourself, then it's being harmonious with others, then it's harmonious with your community, harmonious with the more power you get, the more you can create and cultivate these harmonious energies around you. But that's really the difference. That's how you can tell. So harmony meaning gaining energy rather than losing it, and two, without friction. And like Michael said right here in this beautiful image, it's really, there's no other way than experiencing it yourself and practicing. In our practice of our Yi Quan Qigong, like I said, we're going to go through these practices of one Qigong, like we just did in the beginning, to learn how to cultivate and balance the different elements of nature, recognize emotion through your body, through these elements, and how to balance them too, within yourself. And then through the practice of Tai Chi, moving that energy from side to side and learning how to transition from one space to the other in a harmonious way, the yin and yang. And through the Yi Quan specifically, how I take other people's energy that are negative and I can transform them into positive without me losing myself. So this program is obviously welcome to everyone and everybody to join in if you want to go dive deeper. If you want to learn how to not fight against that river we were talking about, not thrashing around it, to learn how to cruise it. It's really, that knowledge is, of course, in yoga, but of course in Qigong, in Tai Chi, in these energetic, timeless practices. And the reason they survive so long, because they sit on a very strong root of truth. And Michael, you have a bit of a surprise for us, right? You kind of surprised me also with that one.
Yeah, I surprised Shahar very last minute to also include in this course that if you do join us, one of the things that I'll be giving you is just a tiny notebook for yourself in order to reflect during the course at the end of the evening so that you can get a better personal awareness of how your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are really manifesting. And then I'll be providing a giving circle for us to share about our own personal transformations as we start all the way until the end of this course. That was just my little addition that I surprised him with on the way here.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. And this is really important because it's about understanding other people's energy and yourself. So before we close, obviously the ashram does such a good job in closing one energy and moving into the next with the arati and the prayers. Does such a good job, but from releasing from the Tai Chi energy and moving into yogi energy, let's close together if you don't mind. So you can close your eyes for a moment, relax your breath, and like before, bring those three treasures together: your mind, your body, your breath. It's called bringing the three treasures to the top of the mountain. Give yourself a few rounds of breath. With every exhale, notice the changes that are happening in your body, these energetic shifts. Even thoughts, if they come in, they are themselves energetic shifts, or just, you can just observe them. No need to interact with them too much. And now notice and expand that into the elements of nature surrounding you. The element of earth for stability, patience, and balance. Notice the element of fire within you, that internal heat, the light surrounding you, for ambition, for passion, for life into what you're doing. Notice the element of air with each breath you make, for freedom, creativity. Notice the element of water flowing through you with each movement of the body, for empathy and sensitivity and change. For the next few moments, just be with nature. Be with those energies as one. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, release. Feel free to open the eyes, and we close as we always close in my classes. And I'll show you something neat. Bring your left hand in front of you. Bring the right, close the left thumb with the right fist. Cover the right fist, and you have a neat little yin and yang movement right here to remind you of harmony. And we take a moment to say thank you to our teachers teachers and their teachers, and the teachers that came before them. Anyone who brings us this knowledge that we're very grateful for. Grateful for the students who come here and train and move this knowledge onwards. Deep inhale. Exhale. Thank you very much, everyone. And thank you, Michael. Thank you, the ashram, for having us. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Do I stay or? Can I stay here? It's kind of nice. It's
it
better
is nice
than
up here. I kind of like it.
So I'd like to give another very big hand to Shahar Kovetz and to Michael Anthony for this beautiful presentation. He did a good job, Shakti, right? Very good. Very good job. So this wonderful course is starting tomorrow, and the first session will be at 8 o'clock tomorrow in the morning on the Vishnu platform, and followed by that at 12:30 there will be an inauguration ceremony at the Vanadurga temple with our priest, and then there will be an afternoon class happening on the beach for the practice of the Qigong. So this will be for the next several days from March 12th to the 15th. So anyone who would like to register, you're welcome tomorrow morning to register at the reception. So now we'll go over the rest of the schedule for tomorrow. So tomorrow morning, as the weather should be nice weather tomorrow morning, so we will be planning to have the satsang on the beach. So we'll be meeting at 6 a.m. by the beach showers, and Shaman Mohini will be leading the satsang, taking us for a meditation walk, chanting, and a short teaching on the beach on the subject of yoga in daily life. In case the weather is not suitable to be on the beach, we'll have the satsang here on the garden platform. Then at 8 o'clock, we'll have the yoga classes, the intermediate class on the beach, and the beginners on the Bay West platform. 9:50 the brunch, 11 o'clock the ashram welcome and history tour, living from reception. Then at 12 o'clock we continue the series of workshops with Theodore Sovosis on healing the light body, exploring shamanic medicine here on the garden platform at 12. 4 o'clock the yoga classes in the same locations, 5:50 the dinner, 7 o'clock the chanting of the Bhagavad Gita, followed by a short study with Swami Sharavananda Giri. And then in the evening satsang, we'll be having a presentation on yoga for vision with Mark Grossman and Daniel Orlansky. And tonight, I would like to take the opportunity to bid farewell to Amy Weintraub, who's leaving the ashram tomorrow. So I'd like to give a very big hand to Amy Weintraub, as we're very grateful for Amy coming here to the ashram for many years and for all of her teachings and work on yoga for resilience and overcoming anxiety and depression and for mental health. So we want to wish Amy a very safe journey tomorrow and great success in all of her work and her teaching. And by God's grace, we look forward to welcome her back soon, very soon back at the ashram. So let's give her another very big hand. So now we will conclude with the final prayers and the Arati, page 97.